Hey, to West Texas Prepper, bringing another update on the truck toolbox. I'm doing a little cleanup on it, putting in some new weather stripping to help seal up a little bit of the other weather stripping that I had on was back from 1991. So 2014 now, so roughly however many years that is. So been on there a while. That's originally when I bought the box. It was in my first truck, and I've since moved over to my second truck that I bought in 2002, so it was in that one quite a while. 11, 12 years, so you know, here we are 21, 22 years that original weather stripping was on. So what I did, I went in and took my right angle drill, 19.2 volt Craftsman right angle drill, and chucked up a wire wheel and went around and cleaned all the edges. Got down in the cracks. You can see this sort of has a texture to it, and it has that down in here. So I went in and cleaned that off real good around everything, and I'm going to wipe it down with some denatured alcohol that I picked up at Lowe's and just get it cleaned up, let that dry, and that'll give us a good surface to go in and put the weather stripping. The weather stripping that I have is just manufactured by MD. Door and window, comes in a roll. I bought two different sizes. I have two different sizes that go around. I have a wider strip that goes in this area here. Then I have a narrow area that goes around the edge, and then I can use this wide back here at the back too, along this flat area here to help go in and seal that off as well. So I'll put that on and get that taken care of. So hang around and watch, and we'll be back in a minute. All right, I've got these first two strips down. Inside, they're nice and wide. They fit right inside here like I need to. One of the things with this truck box being as old as it is, the springs don't hold up the lids like they do. So a couple of years ago, I went and cut just some PVC pipe that I can use for props if I really want to get these things open so I can get into them, like I'm doing now while I'm working on them. And these just get stowed inside the truck box when I'm not using them, and then I can pull them out when I need to. And typically I don't have to use them, but they just stay in there in case I do need to work on it and do something like this and pull a bunch of stuff out at one time. I've got some props that I can keep the lids up and they're not banging around getting in my way. We're going to continue getting this stuff put on, and we'll show you what we got. All right, YouTube, got everything sealed up, got the new foam in. I like it, the fact that it's black, it blends in a little bit better. So I've got the foam down, everything's sealed up good. One of the things I did find, and I can't remember if I put it on another video, I had a hole down here in this corner, and when this is riding in my truck, when I stick my pool pole in, it comes in and bangs around in here quite a bit. So I had a hole, so I just went in with some silicone and sealed that up, and that'll help. I've done that on some fittings that I put on for tie downs. This silicone on here is 20 years old, so it is still working good. If it's not going to get banged around, this will get banged around a little bit, but that'll help seal it off in the meantime. So we're going to let that dry. I've got it all cleaned out, ready to go. One of the things that I keep down on the bottom are these rubber strips, and actually what this is rubber matting from my when I had my Ford Ranger, the bed mat that went in there. I cut these extra pieces off, and what I do is I put them, they're cut to fit down in the bottom of the truck box. And what that does, it just keeps all this stuff from sliding around. And so I'm getting ready to, as this dries tomorrow, I will start loading all this stuff back in here. I'll give you a quick overview on what I have here. This is just a container, a crate that I use to keep my two 1-gallon water bottles in. You can see on this one here, I had to use a little bit. Ran across somebody that was having some radiator problems, and so I topped them off a little bit to get them into town a little bit, and I think what I did is just filled them up at a pool or something and stuck them back in. So what I'll do on these, before I put these back in the truck, I will actually go in and clean them off, wash them out, rinse them out, and then go in and fill them up and put a few drops of bleach in to keep those in the truck. This water has actually been in here quite a while, and I would not be afraid to drink this if I ran it through a filter or if I boiled it. So that's why I keep a couple extra gallons in the truck It sits, it sits inside. It does get a little warm and cold, throughout the year, but it stays out of the sun, and that's one of the big things that helps that stuff grow. So when you start off with clean water, it can go through some of that. And what I do is once a year, this time of year in January, over the Christmas break, I go in and clean that out, rinse them out, and start over. That way I know I've got good stuff in there to do that. Also keep different fluids in here. This is a quart oil. This one hadn't been opened yet, so it'll go back in. This is power steering fluid. I had a little bit of a power steering leak. I've since had that fixed. So this is a little low. I will go in and put a brand new one in that is full. Another fluid that I keep in is brake fluid. That one's in good shape, so it's just a little bit out of it. As I check my fluids, I'll top things off. In this box here, it goes in my toolbox. This is just a Craftsman utility box. What I keep in here is I have road flares, and then also have two Sky Blazer aerial flares. These have been in here a while. I know the road flares still work. These I don't know, but I go ahead and keep them in there. Use them for emergency fire starting. Even if they don't shoot up in the air, you can use them for something. So I go ahead and keep them in there, and that goes in the bottom toe strap. It actually goes in there. This is a cigarette lighter pump for a tire, just in case. I have used it. It does take a little bit to do, but something is always better than nothing. My boonie hat that I wear while I'm out cleaning pools, I need to get that washed. I have a couple of different lights. This is a Go light that actually will suction cut mount to my truck. Has a remote control, swivels around. If I can get, I'll just show you another video on that. Then just a plug-in light there. Here we have one of the siphon hoses that I keep. It'll actually get thrown in there with that stuff rolled up a little better. These are pipes that I use these are actually tools that I use for taking off pool covers. So I actually pull them out this time of year, and we'll get those stowed because I'm not going to need them for 3 or 4 months. One of the things I keep in, spare gas cap. Keep that in there. A water shut-off tool. This is great for emergency situations, whether I'm at a customer's house, my house. I keep one at my home. I keep one in my toolbox. This is just so you can get down in the water main and turn off water to something. Also, an emergency situation, if you need to get water on someplace, this is good to have. So I keep one of those in my truck. These are just some hose clamps. Multi-purpose here. I use them in the pool business. I can also use them to repair a busted hose on my truck if I need to. So I keep those in there, and they go in the red tray. Screwdriver, been looking for that. That needs to go back in my tool bucket, so we'll get that put up. Small zip ties that I keep in there, just for various things that I might need. Always good to keep a shop rag or a couple of shop rags. This one's getting a little dirty, so I will change it out and get this one washed and put some new shop rags in. I keep that with my fluids and stuff. All this stuff just sort of thrown out. A pair of channel locks. These I keep in there. A lot of times just easy to, if I'm out working on a pool or something, this is pretty standard. I can fix almost anything pool equipment wise with a pair of channel locks, so I keep those in there. Heavy access or easy access. Sometimes I don't always carry my tools around with me, especially this time of year, just because I'm only out basically 1 day a week on pool. So if I do have an emergency come up, I at least have those and I don't have to run back to the house. These are Coast Guard approved light sticks. Keep a couple of those in there for emergencies. First aid kit. I will actually, as I'm going home tonight, I'll take this home with me. Need to get it washed, cleaned out, and restocked. So that will go. This is a magnetic light that you can use underneath the hood or something like that, or stick someplace. Got a pretty long cord on it. I think it's about a 15-foot, maybe a 20-foot cord that you can use, so I keep that. That was a gift from somebody. I keep a towel, a couple of towels in there. I have a second wool blanket now, and then this one right here is my other wool blanket that I keep in my toolbox. This is a measure that I use for measuring off for pools. Spare part needs to get tossed. And then I also keep a kid's aluminum baseball bat in there. And some of you can probably imagine what I use that for. And since I have kids, I can get away with keeping that in there. Now, this is just a good defensive weapon that I keep in my truck, since I can't always carry a firearm because of being a school teacher. I do have some other sort of defensive weapon if I so need it in some cases. So I keep that in there. Plus, I'm having kids. I can get away with having that in there as an excuse. And plus, if I keep it in my toolbox, it's not a big deal. Right there, sunscreen. Also keep my jumper cables in my box where I can easily access those when I need to. So that is the contents of my truck box. Got the heater cranked up out here a little bit. And what I'm doing right now, and I'm going to bring you another video on this, but I'm actually going through my bug out get home box that I keep in my truck, and just going through and sorting through and taking some inventory, looking at my ammunition that I keep in there, paracord, and I'll link the video to this. I'm actually going to go through some of this. I found a problem with one of my ammo boxes. You can see it was cracked, so I'm changing this out. I'm actually going to change out some of the ammo that I have in here. I had 200 rounds of 40 caliber. I'm actually going to take out 100 rounds of 40 caliber and put in 100 rounds of 45. You can see my ammo tray. That way I can put that back in one of the boxes. So that's just sort of what I'm working on. Going through. I'm going to pull the gun oil out. Really didn't need that in there. But as I do this a little bit more, I'll show you what I've got going on, because I'm actually going to add some more stuff back to this box. I've got quite a bit of room in this 20 millimeter ammo can that I can get some stuff in. So we're going to add some stuff back to this that I've actually added to my preps and get that in the truck. So that'll be another video, so look for that soon as well. Thanks for watching, YouTube. I appreciate all the views. If you have any questions, comments on what I've got going on in the truck, let me know. And you can leave a comment down there in the bottom. You can always email me, westtexasprepper@hotmail.com. And I'll put some other information down there, other social media that I have, Instagram. I'm working on maybe a Facebook, I don't know yet, so we'll see. But I appreciate you watching. If you think of anything that I'm missing, I've been doing this for 20 years, and this has been pretty good for me. I have very seldom needed something that I didn't have in my truck, so I've been very blessed. But if you can think of anything, I'm overlooking something, then let me know. I do have a 4-way that goes in there. I have actually been using it on my camper, so that's why it's not over here. I've been putting some wheels on so I can get that moved inside. So that goes in there as well. But have any comments, leave them below. Thanks for watching. Do what you can with what you have, where you're at.